Hey, what's going on, everyone? Andrew with AMT Tactical. Today we're going to go over a question that a lot of people always ask every year, and it's whether or not to bag or mulch your leaves. So if we take a look around my yard, I let these leaves fall and kind of gather here just to show you that I really only have two trees in my yard. There's this silver maple up here in the front, and then there's another one in the very back there. The rest of them I've had taken down because I hate dealing with the helicopters come springtime and the gutters and all. But we leave these two here just for some shade, and we kind of like the look of them. But when it comes to the leaves that they drop in the fall, you need to make the decision of whether or not you want to bag them up or if you want to mulch them. Now, I personally always choose to mulch because the leaves that are on the ground contain about 2% nitrogen. So when you mulch them up and get them down into the canopy and they break down, that's free fertilizer for your turf. Oh, we got to be. So when you're first trying to decide whether or not to mulch or bag your leaves, you need to determine if you're going to be able to keep up with the mulching and the mowing that you are going to be doing. If you are choosing to mulch your leaves, you are going to need to mow more frequently so the mulching capability of your mower can mulch up those leaves into very small pieces where they can get down into the canopy of your turf. If you are making a pass and mulching and there's tons of leaves left behind still sitting on top of your grass, this is going to do more harm than good. So if you have a yard that has tons of leaves, you might be better off bagging the first time and then mowing and mulching more frequently when it's something like this. Where you can see on my yard, there is not a lot of leaf coverage over here. It's just right here underneath this tree. So if I mow every 3 days or so and I mulch it, I can keep up with the density of the leaves that the tree is dropping. Now, I do have a mower that is really good at mulching. This is a Toro Super Recycler. It does an excellent job of mulching. I prefer mulching all year round as opposed to bagging. I only bag when I absolutely have to, when the grass gets really long and wet and mulching isn't a good thing, or before I overseed, or after dethatching, things like that, when I need to bag the material. But otherwise, I want that free fertilizer that either the grass or the leaves is going to give me. So I have a mower that's really good at doing just that. So I'm going to raise my deck up one notch higher than I typically do, just so I'm not trying to cut as much of the grass as I normally am. I'm starting to let the grass grow up. I want the grass to start getting up to that 3.5, 3 3/4 phase, because that's around where I want the final cut for the year to be. So I had been mowing at about 2.5, 2 3/4. So I'm starting to move up to about the 3 inch range. And as the year keeps going, I keep raising it up. Now in my area, we are still about 60 degrees in soil temperatures. We're reaching 70s during the day, 50s at night. They're saying after this week, we're going to start seeing some 40s at night. So our soil temperatures will start to decline. I am going to do one more application of fertilizer after this mow, which will take me into when I do my final winterizer fertilizer. And we want to get that down when our soil temperatures are approaching 40 degrees. So we still have plenty of time until that point. Now, the main reason to deal with the leaf coverage that you have in your yard is because those leaves are going to end up crowding out and smothering the turf. Now, if you overseeded or did a renovation, those new seedlings aren't very established and they're going to die off really quick if you don't get those leaves off of them. Now, you don't want to mow when it's wet. You don't want these leaves to be wet. They're going to be harder to mulch or bag. So in my area, we haven't had rain in a while now. My irrigation ran yesterday morning, so it's had almost 36 hours of time to dry out. The grass isn't wet at all. There's no dew from overnight. Another reason is if you don't mulch the leaves up really well and get them down in where they get broken up on the soil, when it comes springtime, when the soil is trying to warm up, those leaves that are left sitting in the canopy are going to shadow out the soil, causing the sun not to be able to warm up that soil as quick, which means your grass won't come out of dormancy as early as, say, your neighbor's yard. So another reason you don't want to leave the leaves on your lawn is because if the leaves are on the lawn and it begins to start snowing in your area, those leaves are going to compress and pack down, and you could get snow mold and end up having dead patches come springtime where that snow and those leaves have killed off those areas of grass. If you have overseeded or done a renovation, you're going to be killing off your brand new turf just by leaving these leaves on the lawn. So it's very important to be diligent, be frequent, mow it, mulch it, or bag it. You need to make the decision. You need to figure out what's best for you. For me, I have no problem coming out here every 3 or so days, giving my lawn a nice fresh cut, mulching these leaves down, and getting the free fertilizer that these leaves give me. So I'm going to get this knocked out, go into the back, get that knocked out, and then we'll get an application of fertilizer down that'll carry us up to when we do our winterizer. There was a study done by Michigan State University that says if you have established Kentucky bluegrass and you mulch maple or oak leaf clippings into the lawn, it can help reduce dandelions. So that's a good way to have to not use herbicides in your lawn. That looks much better, right? So if we get down in here, we can see that those leaves get shredded up into very fine pieces, and they can get down in the canopy and start to break down from the microbes in the soil, and then there will be nitrogen available for the turf. So free fertilizer. Not looking too bad at all. Okay, so now I'm going to get the back mowed. The only real spot we get any leaf fall is underneath this other silver maple. This one's huge, but we just get a little bit of leaf fall back in this area. The rest of the back coming in really well now. I want to go ahead and get this all mowed and get all these leaves mulched so we don't have to worry about any of this new grass that's back here suffocating out from all these leaves. And then it'll just be a matter of maintaining that mow every 3 or 4 days, mulching any leaves that come down back into the ground, and one more feeding of fertilizer until we do our winterizer. And that's it for this year. Well, that does look a lot better. That Toro Super Recycler does a very good job mulching those leaves up. So people always ask, do I need to mow or bag my leaves? No, you don't. You could rake them, you can use your backpack blower or hand blower and blow them into a pile and scoop them up into a bag and get rid of them. You can compost them. But for me, I spend a lot of money in fertilizer feeding my lawn. So if Mother Nature's going to give me back a little bit of fertilizer herself, I'm going to use it. Now, if your mower doesn't do a good job mulching like a Toro Super Recycler, you probably need to address the blade. Make sure you're using a mulching blade, make sure it's sharp. If it has a bunch of nicks in it, you need to replace it. I will be doing a video upcoming on how to sharpen your lawnmower blade. A sharp lawnmower blade is extremely important and a lot of people overlook it. So you want to make sure you have a new blade or a sharp blade. There's no nicks and imperfections or big gouges out of it. You want to make sure it's getting a nice clean cut on the grass. You're making sure it's going to lift the debris off the ground and mulch it up inside the deck before dropping it back down. These are all very important things. If your mower doesn't do a good job mulching, you can go ahead and bag. Now you can take those bags and you can take them to a part of your property and dump them, and you can compost them. I do have a vegetable garden right here, so I do compost myself. I will save clippings and things like that, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be mulching right back into the lawn. I'm going to go ahead and get some fertilizer down on this, and like I said, it'll be my last one until we do our winterizer. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. See you on the next one.